What is up, everybody? Whipping the cart here, and today we have a special video. We have part 2 on what if Obito came back to the village. And this is part freaking 2, as I said earlier. Anyway, we cut to Obito on his way back to the village after completing a special mission for Minato, the 4th Hokage. And yeah, he is still the 4th Hokage, because if you remember prior, I have made it so things took a certain turn and certain events were, transpired. So anyway, he's going on his way home to the village to report that it was a success, of course, because at this point in his life, Obito is a very successful ninja, and he's pretty much well known throughout the entirety of the Land of Fire and any other lands for that matter, because he is known as the Ghost Ninja of the Woods. And yes, I've given him that name because due to him, his very unique ability with his Mangekyo Sharingan, he can, also, you already know what he can do, so I ain't finna explain what he can do, but, who am I kidding? I'm gonna explain what he can do. Basically, he can go through almost any object that is physical and put his own body part, well, many other body parts, including his entire body, into his alternate Kamui dimension, but that's not important. What's important is he has some trouble getting back to the village, and that trouble is in the form of Yamato. And at this point in his life, he's still working for Danzo, because Danzo and the Foundation are still flourishing. As much as I hesitated on putting him into the freaking story, I have to. Because at this point in the story, what's his name? Sarutobi, yes. Sarutobi in this story is pretty much dead. And he died due to Danzo's actions in the past. And I will make a filler explaining that if you want it. If you want it. You have to tell me if you want it or not. Anyways, getting back on track here. He is, as I said, preoccupied with Yamato. And since he says they have a similar type of special ability, quote unquote, that being wood release. And so, on his way back to the village, he gets snagged in an entire freaking tree. But you already know, Obito being Obito, he easily gets past it and already knows exactly the whereabouts of Yamato in this scenario. And so he throws the kunai at him, and of course, Yamato catches it, throws it back, he phases through it, excuse me, oh my god, today I'm all over the place. He phases through it, and then that is when a battle ensues. And this battle is to determine his, well, let's say, criteria, if you will, to join the Foundation. Because Yamato is on a mission from Danzo to recruit him, or at least his eyes. And he says exactly that. And he says it like this: Yamato has use for your eyes. And Obito being Obito, having his loyalty to Minato, he says, I will never work for Danzo and the Foundation ever. You will have to kill me. And then that's when Yamato reiterates, I'm not here to recruit you. I said that Danzo has use for your eyes, not you, Obito. And so, you already know how this goes down. But Yamato is a little bit more experienced and a lot more proficient with his word release due to his extensive training with the Foundation and him unlocking the true potential of his word release and having Orochimaru experiment more and more on him, since he is the only successful hybrid of Hashirama cells and a random ninja. So he was given special attention by Orochimaru. So that being said, he can actually go toe to toe with Obito in his wood release, because you already know how much of a beast Obito is with his own wood release. And so the fight ensues, and the fight is reminiscent of that of Hashirama versus Madara Uchiha in the Final Valley. But the twist is Obito still having his Mangekyo Sharingan and his special ability with that said Mangekyo Sharingan. The fight is obviously in Obito's favor, pretty much 100%, aside from him being a lot more of a formidable opponent. And that being said, at the end of the battle, we pretty much cut to a desolate Land of Fire, pretty much landscape of just torn trees, wood just everywhere, growing rapidly and erratically. So as you can see, the battle was pretty destructive in a way. And so After that, Yamato tries to retreat, but Obito obviously gets the better of him, trapping him in the Kamui dimension until he finds a better use for him. And actually, he's going to report what happened and exactly what Danzo is up to and what the Foundation is up to, because obviously he interrogated Yamato, even though he did have misgivings on interrogating one of his own, that being a Hidden Leaf shinobi, even though he had every right to defend himself. But even then, Obito is still having trouble coming to grips with what he had to do, even though he didn't really kill him, but he still attacked a fellow comrade. Because this Obito is way more compassionate than the Obito you already know and love, or hate, or, you know, whichever one you prefer. So he reports to Minato. Minato, being already irritated by Danzo, he tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, seeing as though he is still a Hidden Leaf shinobi and one of the founding members of the Hidden Leaf. But that being said, he is really fed up, and obviously he's really ticked off about this situation. And so that being said, he obviously doesn't want any more of the Foundation's experiments to continue on, especially if it's going to be happening to his own, you know, subordinates and his own freaking village citizens. So Minato takes a small squad, and the small squad being Obito, Kakashi, and, well, himself. So obviously this fight will happen in the next part, but we're gonna leave that story there for now and skip ahead to what Naruto and his squad is up to. And at this point, Naruto and Sasuke and, you know, Sakura and etc., they're still doing their missions. They're still being led by Kakashi. Pretty much everything's still the same. The only difference is certain events are slightly altered to better fit the scenario and better fit the story. So they're still going on missions, still doing what they said, until Kakashi gets the call to action. So basically, Team 7 is put on leave for the time being. And that is where we cut to Danzo and Orochimaru having a secret meeting about Obito's and his dojutsu or Sharingan ability. And that is where I will leave the story. And if you want part 3, let me know if you want it. You have to let me know these things. You gotta let me know, man, or else I can't make that happen. Because, like I said, that's why this took so long, until someone graciously commented under my video that they wanted this. So thank you for that, and I will shout you out when I get the chance. Now then, as we were saying, Danzo was having a meeting with Orochimaru. They're discussing the applications of said abilities. And in this story, I want to say that the Uchiha clan is actually still around, pretty much because of, you know, Lord and Savior Minato's influence. And yeah, just gonna say that right now. Obviously, there's still a little bit of tension due to the whole Ninetales attack. That still happened, of course it did. But I want to say that now the Leaf are pretty much no longer suspecting the Uchiha to, you know, run wild and stage a coup, basically because all of the Uchiha been, who has been, you know, been questionably concerning to Minato have been taken care of, if you know what I'm saying. Because Minato by no means is a saint. He still had to do what he had to do when he was, you know, a ninja. And now him having to protect the entire village, not just certain people in the village, he has to take a more direct role. So I'm gonna leave you with that thought. So like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you want part 3. And I will get back to y'all. Now I'm for the edit. So I'll see y'all later. Have a good day. Peace.